Muhonja and her brother. Long time ago, before my great-grandmother was born, there lived two children, a brother and a sister. They lived in a lonely house near a big forest. The girl was called Muhonja. Muhonja and her brother were orphans. Every day, Muhonja woke up to clean their house and cook. Her brother's work was to take their animals to the grazing fields. The two of them owned many cows, sheep, and goats. Sometimes they worked together on their small farm to grow food crops. They planted cassava, sweet potatoes, arrowroots, vegetables, and maize. And yes, you know what? They never lacked food in their house. Upon coming back from the grazing fields, Muhonja's brother would sing a song in order to alert Muhonja to open the door for him. He used to sing and say, "Muhonja, Muhonja, ndura kwaya Muhonja, izi ng'ombe Muhonja, izi mburi Muhonja, na magondi Muhonja, Muhonja witu Muhonja." On hearing this song, Muhonja always opened the door for her brother. This went on for a long time. One day, an ogre that was passing by heard Muhonja's brother singing, and then he saw the door opened for him. The next day, the ogre waited for Muhonja's brother to take the animals to the grazing fields and came to the door and sang the song in a rough voice. "Muhonja, Muhonja, ndura kwaya Muhonja, izi ng'ombe Muhonja, izi mburi Muhonja, na magondi Muhonja, Muhonja witu Muhonja." Muhonja heard the song and realized that that was not the voice of her brother. She shouted from the house, "Ngo, ngo, ngo. That is not my brother's voice. Go away, you ogre." The ogre was annoyed. He left and visited a witch doctor who tuned his voice to be like that of Muhonja's brother. He came back the next day and sang the song. "Muhonja, Muhonja, ndura kwaya Muhonja, izi ng'ombe Muhonja, izi mburi Muhonja, na magondi Muhonja, Muhonja witu Muhonja." This time, Muhonja thought it was her brother. She opened the door and wow! The ogre was there with 3 eyes and horns on his head. The ogre opened his mouth and swallowed Muhonja like a roasted maize seed. He then closed the door and went away. Muhonja's brother came in the evening and sang, "Muhonja, Muhonja, ndura kwaya Muhonja, izi ng'ombe Muhonja, izi mburi Muhonja, na magondi Muhonja, Muhonja witu Muhonja." There was no response. He sang again and again and again, but there was no response. He broke the door and entered the house. there was no trace of his beloved sister. There was a very strong choking smell around the house, and he knew that the ogre had swallowed his sister. Muhonja's brother took his sword and spear and went out to look for the ogre that swallowed his sister. He walked and walked all over the forest until he met an old woman collecting firewood. "Grandmother, have you seen an ogre passing here?" he asked. "Yes, I have just seen an ogre passing towards this end with a full stomach," the old woman answered. Muhonja's brother thanked her and ran towards the direction that the old woman had pointed to. Before long, he saw the ogre resting under a tree. He quickly threw his spear on its head, and the ogre charged towards him. Muhonja's brother jumped up and cut the ogre's head. As the ogre struggled for its dear life, he cut its stomach, and Muhonja came out of the stomach, accompanied by many people who had also been swallowed by the ogre. The people who came out of the stomach were very, very happy. Muhonja and her brother went back home and lived happily thereafter. That is the end of my story.